Hey guys, this is Nate and this is the Nader Tater channel. Do you think this guy is really 1,000 watts of power? This LEDs on this front side, back side is a solar panel. Let's check it out and see. Alright, I am excited to show this solar power light. Let me pull it out of the wrapping that it came in just to show you what it is real fast, and then we'll get into actually testing it and I will tell you what I think of it, as well as verify if it really performs like they say it does. Alright, so this one is a OKPRO, and they claim it's 1,000 watts of power and like 100,000 lumens. Now, both of those claims I'm going to really put to the test. Right now, I don't buy it, to be frank with you. So I have several LED hardwired powered lights on the outside of my house. Some on the side of the house, on the back of the house, and those are 50 watts and 200 watt lights. And then I have a 150 watt light that's actually similar to form factor of this guy, but it's hardwired and it's on the side of my barn. So that one is hardwired onto a regular light switch. This one here is solar, and so I do really like the idea of the solar panel because I have places outside where I don't have any electricity, and it's nice to have this in there. And then it has a built-in battery that's 20 amp hours, which is a pretty good sized battery, and they say that on the low light setting it can last for a couple days, putting out, I think it's about 30% of power output. That's what it does. So by default it has a auto setting, and auto setting, it means it charges during the day, the light's off, and then at night it automatically uses a dusk to dawn sensor and it turns the light on at low power, so 30% power. And then it has a motion sensor that will detect humans or cars, and when it detects that, it goes to 100% brightness while they're there, and then it turns back down to 30% power. So that's what we're going to test. I'm going to install it outside. We'll test it tonight to see what it really does. And how I'm going to verify the light output is I'm going to use a light meter. So I'm actually going to have a piece of calibrated equipment, and I'm going to go under one of my 150 watt hardwired powered LEDs, and then I'll go under this and see how big of a difference it really is. Now, I can actually flip this button right now and it'll turn on and will give you a quick idea of the brightness. Alright, and so on the claim of the wattage, you know, they certainly don't mean 1,000 watts of output of lights. There's just no way that it has that with the battery capacity and the solar panel. But maybe what they're trying to claim is, if you look at an incandescent light bulb, you know, let's say like a 60 watt light bulb, it puts out about 600 lumens of light. And, you know, I could imagine that this one could do 10 times that. So 6,000 lumens of light, that's probably somewhat reasonable. And that would mean that, you know, that's, 600 watts, for example, of a incandescent bulb to produce that. So maybe that's what they mean by the 1,000 watts, is that it would be equivalent to a 1,000 watt good old-fashioned light bulb. But that's what we'll test here and see. So in the end, I don't think anyone is buying this because it's claimed 1,000 watts. They want good light output, and that's what we'll test and see. Is it actually enough light to do what you want? Now they claim it's about 1,800 square feet of area that it lights up, and that's with the unit about 18 feet high, give or take, from the ground. And on the construction of it, you know, to be honest with you, for the price, I'm a little bit disappointed that all of it is plastic out here. You know, the mounting bracket here is steel, which is good, but the unit itself being all plastic has me a little bit unsure about the overall longevity of it. My other hardwired ones, they're all aluminum. It's a cast aluminum, and that also helps with the heat dissipation. So again, we'll see how it goes out there. I will test it tonight, and we'll just see how much light it puts out. Let's go ahead and flip the switch on and just see what it looks like here. So I mean, that's certainly bright. I'm not going to say it's a dull bulb by any means. It certainly does put out some good power, but you know, I don't think I could look at a 1,000 watt light 1 foot from my face. Alright, so real fast, what it comes with here in the kit is you get a remote. It looks like there are no batteries with the remote, but it's two AAA batteries that go into it. And then it has several settings on here. It has a couple of preset where you force it to be full brightness for a certain number of hours. Looks like it has 2, 3, 5, 6, and 8 hour options. You have an on-off capability where if you turn it off, it will not turn on automatically at night when it gets dark. And then you can also flip it on to have it turn on regardless of the darkness outside. And then here you can set different brightnesses out there. But the thing you always want to do when you end with it, if you want it to be automatic, is that center. It looks like a little Wi-Fi icon, but you press that and that puts it into the auto mode, which does that 30% brightness until it detects motion, and then it's 100%. Now as far as mounting it goes, you can mount this straight to a wall if you wanted to or needed to, or you can use the brackets here to clamp onto something, either square or round. And then it has a bracket here, the black one, that is what goes on to the light itself. You know, you put this in there, the black one goes on top, and you screw it down. So fairly simple install. You know, really, it's fairly universal. Now it does come with these long bolts here, which are for going around a pole, which is how I'm going to install it. I'm going to install it on a fence pole around my tennis court there. And then it also comes with anchors, though, if you needed those, where you could go into masonry or something as well. So those are kind of the options that they provide. The other option that's not provided is just a good old-fashioned screw. So you could use like a lag screw or something to go into wood if you wanted to as well. So let's go outside and install it, and then we'll see how it does tonight. Here is a fence with the poles on it. I'm going to put this around there using the standard bracket. And what I'm facing it at is this is my driveway. It goes back to this back building, and so I walk back here and it's dark in this area because I don't have a way to get current light right here. And just over that way I have my barn with the hardwired LED light, and that's what I'm going to compare it to. That one's 150 watts claimed. This one's 1,000, so let's compare the two and see which one's actually brighter. Alright, it might be kind of hard to see, but you can see that little green light right there. That means that it is charging with solar power. Alright, there we go. Alright, so now with the remote, I can command it. Now when the light is outside in its daylight, it will not leave itself on. It does automatically turn off. But if I press like this middle one or any of the buttons really, you can see it flashes the LEDs that lets you know that it received the command. So I left it on auto. We'll come back at night and see how it does. Alright, I am outside now. It is pitch dark outside, but I am in the light of my hardwired 150 watt LED light I put on the side of my barn. And this guy is super bright, as you can tell out here. And then I have my solar panel light, which I'm not sure if you'll be able to really tell, but it's on the 30% brightness out there, and that's because it hasn't detected any motion yet. So I'm going to walk up alongside it and see how much brighter it actually gets. Alright, so there we go. I just flipped on. And so it certainly does put out some light. There we go. It is not bad by any means, but it is nowhere near the light output of my big barn one. So let me get my light meter out. Hope you can see it just went dark there, so I got to do some more motion here for it. Alright, so now I got some motion. I'm going to stand underneath this. Now I only have it about probably 10 feet high, but so if I'm right underneath it, my meter is reading about 75 lux. That's a measure of light output. So now just drop down to the 30%. So you see it dropped all the way down to 9 lux. So certainly from 30% to 100%, it makes a big difference for when it kicks on. It looks like it kicks on for maybe 30 seconds of time. Alright, so now we're back over here to my barn light up there on the top. And if I get underneath it and we try to get a lux reading for it,
Looks like it's about 200, and obviously it changes depending on where I go. 260, if I go farther away, it'll be less. Yeah, so it looks like the peak is about 250 to 260 is about the strongest that my barn light gets. But it does quite a big area here that it covers. So certainly a bigger, brighter light than the solar one, but I would expect that, right? I wasn't very much fooled that the little battery powered solar light is going to be much brighter than a hardwired light. So so long as you keep that in mind, that's the key thing with the solar ones, is that they're not going to be as bright, and so don't believe the numbers that are advertised there.